our what's up, everyone? Happy afternoon here. It is, what time is it? It's 2 p.m., so it's the final 2 hours of the day. Let's see what we got cooking here for the remainder of the day. You can see some of the trades here that I took on NAS for the day session. We can go through those and talk about the plan. I was literally just talking to some of the guys in Discord here about the higher low that's shaping up here, both on the NASDAQ and on the S&P 500. I'm looking at it from the perspective of the initial balance low here. You can see on the S&P 500 is these blue dash dotted lines. And it seems like we're failing a multitude of times over with a bunch of people stuck into those lows. NASDAQ, unfortunately, a lot more bearish, where we had this downside move under this IB low. But the potential of these huge buyers that came in at 270, more of an order flow type idea, more of an order flow trade. Let me see if I can pull this out. So this is the NASDAQ here. More of an order flow idea and trade, but the S&P looked a lot better for that potential turning point to the upside. When I'm looking at NASDAQ, right, I'm looking at it, I don't have a drawing tool here, but you can see on the footprint over here what we got cooking. You have this large downside move naturally. Bearish structure moves under the IB low, fair enough. But I said I'm looking at the possibility of a higher low based on the idea that these guys were getting a little stuck over here. The area wasn't the best for NASDAQ, but what I'm seeing down here is a massive buyer that propels prices higher, a bunch of people that are getting stuck on the short at higher areas. That makes sense for me to look at this on that upside leg here. If I look at the S&P 500 as well, very similar type scenario here. Where is the S&P? On the footprint. Hello, Hollywood. J Menas, what's up? The S&P, similar story. Everyone gets stuck at the 70 down here. Rebid holding above the IB low currently. So it just seemed like a decent opportunity to see if you can swing this thing back to the upside. The best case scenario for the buy side right now on NASDAQ, more so, because the S&P, S&P's price action today, the price action in general was so ass, but the S&P's price action was something else. I had a midpoint area slash a, I guess, pivot at 59.90 here on the S&P, and it looked like the idea here, we can go over through some of the breakdown of the plan itself. I didn't pull the trigger here getting long the NASDAQ below these areas. I don't mind trying to get along it a bit higher if we can actually hold above this IB low right now for a failed acceptance move under. If I'm looking at it, we do have a period that closes under the IB low. It's pretty late. It's the I period here on the market profile. But if I'm setting up the plan for today, we'll start off with the S&P here. What's up, Saj? Hello, everyone. Welcome. So if I'm setting it up based on the idea for the plan on the the morning session, based on the overnight and what's going on with these larger auctions, I'm looking at it from the perspective of this big auction over here, 59.90 on the S&P. We did close above it, but I had a lot of concerns about that area because right into the open, before the open, we were pushing down into the same area, 59.90, and it was not making new highs. So thought process, if we move under 59.90, honestly, that's a shortable area for the sell side to come through. And then NASDAQ, very similar situation where under 430 over here, the auctions start under that 430, you start looking for the sell. I got a little aggressive. I sold 420 close to the open. I got taken out on this head fake back above that 440 and then sold it a few more times here throughout the day. That made up for a decent trade. Last night, we talked about the trade on the overnight session from 440 to sell. It didn't fully come down to 320 main target, so I got taken out at break even for a bunch of them, and then the overnight trading here for another short. It seems like I've just been trying to short this thing as we're pushing into auctions higher, but that's kind of just what makes sense to me right now in these market conditions. So what I'm looking at currently is that the NASDAQ is sitting at the IB low as things stand. We've moved back into the IB low, and if I look at, what did I do? Go on. Control D, no? So if I look at oh geez, what's going on? I think it just took a lot of time for it to come through. Come on. So I'm looking at NASDAQ and the S&P right now. There's an accumulation of some sell pressure. We're at that IB low. You take a look at this NASDAQ on the footprint. Into the IB low, 330s right now. I'm trading. The directional bias after a break like this is to the downside. I just have to be very cautious because I need to see like the accumulation of a bunch of people that are getting like trapped into that high. Also, some reactive sell pressure that comes through. That'd be fantastic. Otherwise, if I'm looking at both these right now, the S&P looks a bit weaker. You have the accumulation of all of this. Let me just move these. You have the accumulation of all this delta here on the SPOOs into that 80. That held extremely well during the morning session. Create a lot of trap traders at that low. And then now that we're under it, the idea is to see if we can hold some kind of continuation to the downside. But after this like pop here, this could just be a head fake. So I want to see like confirmation on this. If there's going to be any kind of sell pressure from like 330 or whatever it is on the NASDAQ here. Very weird price action today. Strong expansions, like one-touch bounces on NASDAQ and the S&P kind of wonky, but like NASDAQ predominantly. Like, let me just grab something. I was leading a bit more on the bear side, even though the auctions were higher. Just because, like, the way that I see this right now, in the current state of things, is kind of a overextended reaction from CPI that needs a bit of a pull back. But, like, as I'm looking at this, right, just because I have an idea to continue this downward move doesn't mean just, like, act on it brashly. If I'm not seeing, like, strong sell pressure from this area on NASDAQ, it's not worth it for me to enter into a position. If anything, we're getting a failed acceptance under the IB low, which allows us to punt higher. What's up, everyone? Welcome. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Let's have a chat on stream today, because it could be the case where I just like don't do anything. But right now I'm looking at this from the perspective that we're at a pivotal spot on the IB low as well as the auction low that we've like rallied back up. I was doing some other shit and I didn't take that higher low trade, but it's like the cleaner move honestly would be if we look at draw some arrows. This isn't like Zoom where I can like write and shit, I don't think. So like a cleaner move for like acceptance honestly would be like through these areas, like clean up some of this negative delta and go, because like right now we're in a position under all this negative delta to continue that leg lower, because it's under a key auction. It's under the IB low currently, at least, but no one's selling. Why can't I? How far can NASDAQ go down and how high can it go? What the hell? I just rubbed my crystal ball. I don't know. Like, I don't think that NASDAQ breaks 220 to the downside, this area. I don't think that's in the cards today, especially with like the movement. In terms of how high, like 550. I feel like right now these guys are like positioned to move higher, right? Like an aggressive trade is something like this, where I would try to get long like 335, right? On like small size. I got some risk that I can play with. Like maybe 335 down into like 330. This is like an aggressive, like semi breakout trade trying to capitalize on the potential movement here higher on this NAS, where like my stop can be at like under 310. Remember someone had asked me before, um, where are the trades? They're on the screen. Can you not see the red and green lines? Um, yeah, wait, 2500 today. I doubt that Nasdaq trades as low as 2500. 2500, bro. That's like 1,000 points away. Like next week, it's possible, but I think the way that markets are trying to get positioned right now is for an attempted potential higher low pullback on like a bigger frame, maybe, where we can clean up the auction from this CPI, and then that holds true to a higher low in that sequence. If this is truly a bottom, which like in these markets, such a poor low like seems a little crazy to me, but it's for sure possible. If this is truly a low in this market, with this like garbage low down here, or where was it? I don't even know. Like over here, these few days, then realistically you have this like super low low auction volume area over here that I would think can get cleaned up a little, like where I have 21, 120, 140 as a possibility for a higher low. It's my opinion, at least. I think it's just gonna be a difficult task to break through this like negative delta here on this NAS. But I think like failed acceptance is starting off. I honestly could have had a much, much better fill because I was talking about higher lows when we were trading 280. You start this sluggish rotation garbage here. S&P today weirdly divergent, a little more bullish, I would say, where wasn't usually the case the way that it was shaping up like over the past few weeks, I would say. Today was very weird. It's like slow grinds. And then, well, actually, no. The majority of it started with these, like, aggressive whips up and down. And then came the slow grinds. Shit, this thing's taking a slap. A pretty harsh sell trying to come through right now. This IB low is actually holding. Shite. Yeah, I might be taken out on this. Close, at least. This sell pressure is pretty nasty right now. I don't know where it came from, but and I'm stopped. Take it out of that. That was, I guess they're still holding under that IB low. That was like a actually like pretty textbook IB low trade on this NASDAQ, but I don't know. I don't think that there is too much more of this downside the way that I'm looking at it. If my stop triggers a low, that's going to be some bullshit. I don't mind trying to hunt it again. Like getting in right after I got stopped out is not my favorite. Let's see if I can fill this into these like 18, 16. Is that like pop? I feel like this is just like a head fake, honestly. And if this thing just one touch bounces, man, that is the most annoying possible outcome here. Did I get stopped on a low tick? Pretty much. Dude, this is how this day's been. I've had some solid trades, but like this is some bullshit. Incredible. I still think that there is potential to the upside. These sellers look exhausted. Like the buy side is trying to come in. We're trying to move back into that stupid IB. And like we're making new highs right now. I can't even make this up. That's crazy. That is impeccable. It didn't really leave behind a trace of like imbalances. Low tick by 1 point, almost. I'll watch it again. We come back like 320. But I might not get it. You all long 315 Saj? That's better. What's the logic behind seeing 2500 if the low was 261? I'm just trying to fit like what I want to understand where you're getting at. Or you mean 21,500 or 20, I don't even know. I think we want to just stay balanced today. Like the profiles are in like a clean balance. Yeah, dude, Jay, this day has been like that though. I'm not like fully surprised. Like there's buy side pressure that came in from the lows, which I was looking at as a potential higher low, but but I'll try again, just at a better price. These guys didn't, like, a lot of imbalances here. 280. Not much on that way down. I don't wait for someone to get imbalanced, though. Because if I enter the same place I got in last time, that just, I don't know, that might be a little ridiculous. Yeah, like I don't think like a breakout out of like this balance is gonna happen today, but that's the good thing about being in Europe. Overnight trades are possible. London session, baby. I don't know. I would like more of a move lower to create a higher low. If that is actually the bottom that we saw at that like 2600 or whatever it was. And this could be like just the slowest afternoon of all time. Imbalanced seller. Yeah, Sahaj, I'm looking at it too, man. It's like slowest movement right now. I'm gonna see if I can fill like the same entry, honestly. A slightly wider stop. You can get like end of day rally here. might not get a fill on this. I'm very close, but I was like a few points away from filling that. Long 74 ES. That's a good long, man. You got that on the spike lower. Good entry. A slightly new high here, Nasdaq. Yoo-hoo, son of a bitch. These guys keep like rebidding. I don't really want to chase this. I'm honestly like that low tick stop was honestly impeccable. Well done. Well done, market. Yeah, honestly, ramp the end of day. I feel like that's what's gonna happen. I think like these guys like head fake under that auction into like the 260 or whatever. They head fake under 300. Rebid now, trying to catch like a fat bid. I can't get on this for shit all. You gotta be kidding me, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna stop streaming. They're watching my entries. Like the 360? Brother in Christ. John, the entry at that low, like, I was talking about that a bit earlier. I think it made sense. I was kind of just like waiting to see what the flow looked like in terms of a higher low. So like we push up and like you see this like massive buyer over here. Like fair enough, like that huge buyer, like 275 or whatever, Nasdaq spikes. Once these guys start getting stuck into that low, I think the 280 is like a good entry for that higher low that I was talking about earlier, for that continuation. Here, like, I got a little jumpy at, like, head faked lower, and obviously I got taken out at the goddamn low tick. I can't enter this thing for shit right now, so we'll see. Like, when I see some, like, sellers like this, and they, like, rebid it, especially, like, larger sellers with, like, a big buyer into the low over here, like, this guy, like, pretty decent seller gets rebid, so, like, at that point, they're holding above these big buyers. I think, like, an entry around that 280 made sense for a higher low. Yeah, I think like an end of day bid makes sense. It's possible. Like this kind of inversion under a key balance low and then rebid back into it, you have more of a, you have like a balanced day on the profile on both SPOOs and NASDAQ. I don't expect that to break today on this like weird movement. What pair is this? This is the NASDAQ futures, not pairs. It's not like a CFD or Forex or anything. Yeah, there is huge negative delta for sure. This market's like super slow right now, though. It was only fast to take me out. I don't really know what that means. Safe trade on Tesla, Nvidia, TM. What does that mean? Like get long Nvidia? I don't know. I'm trading futures. I'm not looking at like individual stocks or anything. Nvidia barely pulled down, honestly, off that drop. If I trade stocks, it's like I'm gonna swing options on them. Jeez. Mainly swing them. I saw that Apple was having a day today. What the hell? Apple's down nearly 4% on the day, 3.6%. What the hell? If Apple can catch a bid, this market's going moon. It's a big if. Some of these tech names are catching a bid right now, minus Apple. Yeah, number one hated company, AMD. Nasdaq's gonna be my number one hated asset if this doesn't fill me and then just go moon. These guys are like trying to trap some more sellers into here. This is honestly some of the slowest movement. Yesterday was very similar, very just slow, grindy continuation up. But like, it was a case where you have like sellers like these that are coming in, like imbalanced sellers, and then they just like rebid it. S&P at towards that 90 is a bit cumbersome. We've been on this for 40 minutes and like barely anything's happened. Other than that sweep to take me out at a low tick. Like, I'd rather not chase this higher, but not really seem that possible to get a fill. You guys seen a red note, right? A lot of people migrating to I guess like it's still like TikTok's still China, but like the I guess like mainly Chinese population is using Red Note, and everyone's like, oh, they're gonna ban TikTok, so everyone move to Red Note, and people are losing their minds at like the culture shock between China and America. Yeah, funny experience. I might be left out to dry here on this. It's segregating its user base, Ian. Doesn't want China doesn't want the Americans polluting them. Yeah, I saw there's been an uproar. The Chinese people on Red Note are like, what the hell is this? What is going on? Pretty active sellers coming in here. Bro, that was like points away. Yeah, post it in the chat. Isn't like the interface in Chinese anyways, so like Americans can't really understand it, or like they can't even change their preferences. I gotta let someone in. Guys, watch my position. Here, I'll even put some take profits a bit lower just in case. Make sure I don't get stopped out. I'll be back. I better be green as fuck. It's at 52. 50. It dropped off there for a second. Okay, I'll be back now, but this thing's reconnecting. What was that high? 61? Oh, come on, they can do better than that. I don't know, manage this position. Картофите са останали, са в хладилника. Ако искаш да ги готвиш. Nice. We're back. I came back and you guys didn't screw me. What was that top? 75? Not bad, honestly. We did it. .40 zippy zip. End of day rally. End of day rally. They were able to do a bunch of YouTube videos on how to change it. It was a classic. You know what, I'm gonna cut some size into that 375. And then what I'm gonna do is honestly just move these to break even, because pretty free trade at this point. Like, if it goes, great. If it doesn't, then it's the market's fault. Where are the rest of these stubs? $77. Nice continuation on the bid here. Let's see. We almost trade 80, I think. 79 quarter. I got 6 left of my overall 12, so let's see what we can do about this. Well done, Sahaj. End of day rally, end of day rally, end of day rally. This is a real power hour. These assholes had to low tick me first. Otherwise, we could have been flying a lot higher right now. We gotta get through this like big negative delta. That's why I've got like I gotta take profit into these like mid 80s just in case because you're at the ledge of that like big delta. I even just lower risk now. And then at this point, it doesn't really matter. First area is like a main target because you start coming into that like big negative delta block here. And then through that, I think the possibility, like my main target would be like 420. Yeah, in the morning, I was short. Like I got stopped the first time, and then I didn't get a full fill here, or what I wanted to at least, but still solid trade. Short again here, short again here. Just shorting under 430 on Nasdaq whenever big sellers came out. That was my morning. This is my second long, and like the first one got taken out at the low tick, which is crazy. You run into some trouble at 380. You want spoos to catch a fat bit above the 90. Decent pop. Let's see if we can get through this 80. 81. Come on. Don't fail me now. To reload this here. That kind of blows. These guys went up to like 82 and then got re-offered there. Try to connect to my phone Wi-Fi here. In Bulgaria, the Wi-Fi is better off the phone. A trillion reconnects. Yeah, I see these guys like that big ass buyer at that 80. We pop up to like 80. Oh, I don't even know. What was that high? 83. Yeah, on like rotation days or just like sideways movement days like today, I end up playing the extreme. So I guess like to a degree they're like fades, you know. Like I would say that the acceptance move that happened today under the key auction lows, or sorry, back into this key auction to the downside was like more so playing on the trend. So like I guess like fades, it depends on how you look at it. Like if I call it a fade, I'd be like trying to buy this knife, for instance, you know, where the current trajectory of the market is more positioned to the downside. These guys keep sucking at this 80. That traded like 84 or something. Almost 84. $84? No. $85 almost. Honestly, pathetic. There you go. Take that one out to 87 now. You're looking at a 50 plus point move here. Another one, just leave 3. Might honestly leave 2 because I got other shit to do here. I can pull my stops a bit higher and just leave this. And whatever happens here happens. But I think there could be a little more to the upside. I'm just looking at this like 380 to 390, a bunch of negative delta there. I like it up to 400, 420, but end of the day at 3 p.m. Jeez. So good shit. I'll do more of these streams going forth. See if we can pick some of these guys out, and we'll go from there. But I appreciate everyone that came out. Thanks, guys. Well done. If you were on them longs, congrats. Unfortunately, I got low ticked on the first one, but it's okay, I guess. We made up for it. And yeah, we'll do this again tomorrow. We'll be streaming OPEX, which is some of the worst shit. I don't really like OPEX, but we'll stream it in the morning, so I'll see you guys there. Appreciate everyone that came out, and let's do this again tomorrow. So have a great rest of the day. You got an hour until the market closes. I doubt that there's like too much activity here, but I am looking for about 400 plus on the remainder of this, and then we'll go from there. So enjoy the rest of the day, everyone. Thanks for coming out. And remember, check out community.tradeproacademy.com.